Welcome students. So in the previous class, we were talking about the pre-industrial and post-industrial society. In this lecture, we will discuss about the industrialization, a concept of industrialization and its causes and consequences. Industrialization connotes a shift from an agrarian economy leading to the rise of manufacturing industries. It was the industrial revolution in England and some other European countries which laid down the foundation of industrialization. Industrialization is the process of social and economic change whereby a society is transformed from a pre industrial society into an industrial one. It is a process of transformation to a socio economic order in which industry is dominant. It is an economic and social system based on the development of large scale industries and marked by the production of large quantity of inexpensive manufactured goods and the concentration of employment in urban factories. Industrialization is built on large industries rather than on agriculture or craftsmanship. Industrialization is a part of wider economic growth process where social changes and economic development are closely related with technological innovations, particularly with the development of electric power, steam engine, textile machinery, and iron and steel making. There are some characteristics of industrialization, or you can say the features of industrializations are it involves a large scale mechanization and automation in production system. It lays the foundation of factory system under which an entrepreneur employs hired labor in the production processes. Industrialization involves the application of scientific methods in industry for the purpose of improving productivity and quality of goods. It leads to division of labor and specialization. It also attracts labor from agriculture and allied occupations to industry. It increases the geographical and social mobility of labor, and it also involves better utilization of idle natural resources for speedy economic development. The main factor which gave stimulus to industrializations are large scale production. It means the modern factories carry on large scale production to meet the demand of large number of peoples. So the production is carried on in anticipation of demand. Mechanization, the development in the field of science and technology have increased the degree of mechanization in the modern factory system. So the efficiency of the factories has increased many times because of new innovations. In many advanced countries like USA and the UK, automation has been introduced in the production system. By automation, we mean installation of one set of machines to run another set of machines. For instance, there is automation in oil refineries, chemical industry, industrial units, and food processing units. So, a small number of operators sitting in the control room oversees the entire operation. Another cause of industrialization is a specialization. There is a greater specialization and division of labor. Many industrial units specialize in the manufacture of a small number of components or parts of different products. Division of labor has facilitated the works to concentrate on limited operations. And standardization brings about uniformity of quality and size, and it also facilitates large scale production. Nowadays, many organizations, whether production or services based, are trying to get themselves standardized as per international standards, that is called as a ISO certifications. So overall quality consciousness has increased in industry due to industrialization. Introduction of management information system with the help of electronic computer is another highlight of modern machine age. The computers have vast memories. They can store huge amount of information and make available the required information within seconds. So they help in taking a managerial decisions at the proper time. Concentration of industries in certain region of the country has given rise to the growth of industrial areas, which offers special advantages in regards to raw material, power, access to markets, financing, transporting, etc. So, mass production, standardization of products, and improved means of transportation and communication have increased the volume of international trade among different countries. Big industrial enterprises have established separate departments for research and development. They spend a considerable portion of their earning for innovating new products and ideas. So, the research and development activities have the effect of decreasing cost, increasing quality, and consumer satisfaction, and it also raising the standard of living of the people. Another cause is a competition. There is a cutthroat competition among the producers of goods in all capitalist economies. Economic relations become different. Persons are based on contract rather than on custom and tradition. So it can be concluded that the industrial revolution gave plants and machinery which brought about factory system. Entrepreneurs established factory and employed a large number of workers to work in their factories. This gave rise to two classes, namely capitalists and workers. And the term industrial relation was coined to create and maintain cordial relations between these two classes for the growth of industry. Industrialization has affected the society in every aspect. The customs and traditions, the fashion and manners, the way and mode of living all have been deeply influenced by industrialization. So, the process of industrialization are intimately related with scientific processes. So, the attitude of the members of industrial society has become scientific in an industrial society. The superstitions, blind faiths have no place in this. People expect and demand rational explanations of every phenomena. The reason and not faith in the touchstone of every action and beliefs in the industrial society. The freedom of thoughts and individualism are the cornerstone of industrial society. So, the because of industrialization, the methods and means of social control have changed. The ancient institutions of marriage and family have also changed. The old values and rules pertaining to the religion and morals are undergoing radical changes. The new patterns of social stratification are being established. The caste system is being replaced by the class system. Even the mean of recreation and entertainment have undergone change in the industrial urban society. So it is obvious that industrialization has influenced almost every aspect of society. Now, impact of industrialization on marriage. The institutions of marriage and family are to be found in every society. Traditionally, the Indian society has recognized marriage to be a sacred and religious institution, but in the modern industrial society, it has been reduced to a contract. In the past, marriage was considered to be a permanent and inalienable bond which could not be terminated at will. But now, under the impact of industrialization, divorces are not uncommon. So, the following discussion will make explicit the impact of industrialization upon the institution of marriage, like marriage as a social contract. Because the traditionally marriage in India was considered to be a religious and sacred institution. It was commonly believed by the Hindu that marriage is necessary for emancipations or salvations. Besides, marriage was regarded to be a permanent bond. Marriages were supposed to be a made in heaven, and only God could sever a marital bond. But with the advance of industrialization, these beliefs are considered superstitious, and anyone holding them is frowned upon. So, the today's marriage is regarded as a social contract between a man and a woman by many peoples. The aim of marriage in modern time has ceased to be a spiritual, and now its aims are economic, social and biological mainly. Another impact of industrialization on marriage is a higher age of marriage. In the Indian society, only a few decades back, child marriage were quite common. But with the industrialization, the age of marriage is advancing. It is getting higher and higher over the year. In metropolitan towns of India, boys and girls are generally marrying at the age of 25 to 35. Another impact is a practice of non marrying as a consequence of rejection of the traditional beliefs and attitude. Many young men and women in big towns prefer to live single. According to their thinking and beliefs, the major need filled by marriage is biological, and this can be easily satisfied out of wedlock. Another practice of love marriage is also an impact of industrialization. In mills, factories, offices, and other places, both men and women work together. Under such situation, they get a chance of coming together, meeting, exchanging ideas and opinions. So as a result, individual become intimate and the intimacy develop into love, which ultimately blossoms in marriage. But another impact of industrialization is an increase in divorce rate. The industrial society is becoming more and more complex. The philosophy of individualism is flourishing in the society. Even husband and wife have different outlooks and attitude because both of them work in a separate social spheres. So as a result of this, marital bonds are getting weaker, the mental conflict increases and the situation for divorce is developed. Another impact of industrialization is on family. Beside affecting the institution of marriage, industrialization produces effects upon the institution of family also. So the some of the important effects of industrialization upon families are like role of family. As a result of industrialization, the role of family has changed considerably. Now a number of functions which used to be performed by families in the past have been taken over by other institutions. So, traditionally, an Indian family used to be a center of worth, rearing, education of children. The children used to get training in the ancestral professions. The function of socialization of children, too, used to be performed by the family. But in the industrialized society of today, the family is not required to fulfill these roles. Today, children are born in hospitals. In big towns, we find today a number of infant care centers and playway schools. The education of children today is done in schools and not in home. The professional training also is no longer the obligation of the family. What is even more, even feeding is no longer the exclusive obligation of the family. Many people in metropolis eat out of homes. In almost all big cities, people rarely take lunch at home except on Sundays and holidays. Another impact on family is a breaking up of joint families. Traditionally, most of the Indian families were joint families. As a result of industrialization, most of these joint families are breaking up and are being replaced by nuclear families. In industrial town, there is acute shortage of residential accommodation. Most of the people have to content themselves with a single or two room accommodation. In these circumstances, it is physically exceedingly difficult, if not possible, to retain the joint family system. Another impact is the nuclear families. As a result of industrialization, the cost of living has gone up. At the same time, standard of living has also gone up considerably. So everybody wants good clothes, house and other comfort or luxury of life. So obviously it is not possible to maintain the standard with a big family. So people these days want to keep small families. Industrialization also changed the status of women in a family. The status enjoyed by women in the traditional Indian society was rather low. Women were confined in the four walls of the home. They enjoyed no independence. Without husband, the condition of a woman was miserable. As a result of industrialization, there has been much improvement in the status of women. Along with men, Women today work in all walks of life. They are therefore becoming independent economically. Their status and respect in society has therefore improved considerably. Nowadays, women consider themselves equal, even superior to men. Another, as a result of industrialization, the tendency of intense individualism has grown. Everyone wants to have his own way. No one likes to be subject to anybody. So nobody these days appreciate the need for adjustment and give and take. So we find in modern society families cracking up under stress and strain. There is a continuous tension and conflict in the mind of family members. As a consequences of this situation, the families are breaking up fast in urban societies. Due to industrialization, the family goal is also changed. The goal and ideals which nourish the traditional Indian family were spiritual and religious. The housewife used to regard her husband as a divine being. The women willingly subjected themselves to each and every whim of their husbands. Even children used to give unqualified respect to their parents. The father was regarded to be the head of the family and his command was rarely defeated. But in the industrial society, there is no room for such idols. For a modern wife, the husband can be at best an honorable friend and under no circumstances a god. The powerful status of father in family is being lowered as a result of industrialization. Another impact of industrialization is on caste system in Indian society. In Indian society, the caste system has had a unique role. The social status of a person was determined by his caste, but industrialization has diminished the role of caste system. So the impact of industrialization upon Indian caste system are like disintegration of caste system. The industrialization in India has led to breakdown of caste system. Traditionally, the social status of a person in Indian society was determined by the caste into which he was born. But as a result of industrialization, the caste based criteria of social classification has changed. In the industrial society, it is the class and not the caste which fixes the social status of a person. So now the society is split into classes. Man gets social status according to his class rather than caste. Another impact is on reduction in influence of Brahmins in the traditional society structure. The Brahmins enjoyed the highest status in the society, but as a result of industrialization, the influence of Brahmins is gradually losing its traditional hold on Indian society. Another impact is a abolition of system of caste based functions. In the traditional caste based society, each caste was associated with some activities or functions. The Brahmins had the role of teacher, Kshatriya, that of warriors. Now all this has changed. It is no longer obligatory upon a Shudra to do manual jobs for upper caste. Due to these changes, the traditional function of the caste is stand abolished. Another impact of industrialization on caste system is a division of labor, which is based on specialization. Under the caste system, the division of labor was based upon caste and upon the consideration of efficiency. A Brahmin was to perform the function of learn even if he was poor in learning. Under the influence of industrialization, the criteria of division of labor has changed. The industrialization has encouraged specialization. Nowadays, a person is not given a task unless he is specially trained for it. In every sphere of society, a specialized training is needed for the successful performance of a job. It Industrialization also helpful in the dilution of control of caste in a Indian society. In traditional society, each caste has its own code of conduct, which was strictly adhered to. Any violation thereof attracted strong social reprobations. So the violation of caste-based code of conduct used to result in excommunication. But in modern society, the control of caste has become loose and lax. The industrial society is highly intricate and complex. Nowadays, person of all castes work together, and it is therefore impossible to observe the separate caste-based code of conduct. In modern industrial society, the instruments of effective social controls are provided by law and law enforcing agencies. It also losing hold of untouchability. Under the caste system, the person belonging to different caste did not get together and share a common bond. But as far as Dalit was concerned, he could not even sit, stand, or walk near the person of upper caste. As a result of industrialization, the specter of untouchability has relaxed its grips upon the thoughts and imagination of people. Today, members of all castes work together in mills and factories and eat food stuff from the same canteens. Many waiters in restaurants are Dalit. Everybody, including Brahmins, willingly eat food prepared and served by these peoples. Besides, in parks and public places, there are no restrictions on the entry of the Dalits. So, the industrialization can be said to have come as a boom for the lower caste. It also affects the solemnization of intercaste marriages. Under the caste system, the intercaste marriages were a strict taboo. Hardly anyone dared to defy this taboo and marry with the spouse of any other caste except one's own. The punishment for such marriages was nothing less than complete excommunication. In modern societies, people do marry into other castes without much disapproval in mills and factories. Person belonging to different castes come together, develop common interests and friendships. Some of these contacts bloom and flowers into a mutual love and attraction. The mutual attraction breaks the caste barrier and such persons marry. There is another reason for prevalence of intercaste marriages. Due to frequent encounter with members of other communities, one come to realize the fundamental oneness of all human beings. One being to appreciate the stereotype thinking with regard to other caste is not valid. So the factor like caste, pride and hatred for other caste which help accentuate caste barriers become inoperative. So there emerge a rational outlook among the people. Another impact of industrialization is on social stratification. In the industrial society, there is a unique kind of social stratification. The different strata of society are known as the social classes. The basis of stratification in an industrial society is different from that of other societies. So, generally, the social stratification in an industrial society occurs on the following fourfold basis: occupation, education, income, and birth. Occupation. In industrial society, the main basis of social stratification is occupation. The status and prestige of an individual is determined by the position and rank he occupies in industry, the nature of his profession, and his rank and status in that profession. So, the rank and status of crucial importance in an industrial society as they are indicative of one's ability. The rank and status and occupation are not heredity in industrial society, and one has to struggle for acquiring status. Another fold is education. Education has become an important determinant of the status of a person. The better educated are regarded more highly than the less educated. Of course, in every society, the poets, writers, learners have got top ranks and status. However, in industrial society, there is some difference in this regard from other societies. The industry has closer relation to science and technology than formal learning. This is why a person who is highly learned is not regarded so well as a person who is proficient in science and technology. In an industrial society, it is not literally learning but the scientific learning that commands respect. As a consequence of industrialization, the importance and value of subjects like philosophy and literature has gone down. The formal learning has been replaced by a utilitarian subjects. Another fold is a education income. Another measures of fraud of one social status is one's income. The higher the one's income, higher one's social status. So the rich are respected and poor are hated. According to the materialistic outlook, the possession of material comfort and luxury is the paramount aim of life, and the more are one's material possessions, nearer is one to the summum bonum of life. So, money income is needed for acquisition of material comfort. Another social stratification is on the basis of caste, or you can say that birth in a family. In the caste based society, the son of a Brahmin was accorded the status of Brahmin without the slightest consideration of his actual merit. In feudal society, the family had great importance in determining one's social status. In industrial society, too, the family has unique importance in determining the social status of a person. The reason for the importance of family in social stratification in industrial society are not the same as in caste based or feudal society. But in an industrial society, it is recognized that in order to develop or flower one's talent, the family plays an important role. A successful manager and technocrat need special opportunities of training, etc. Only those family which can provide such facilities produce successful person in industrial societies. A man born in a high class family naturally gets more opportunities of development than a person who is less fortunate in this respect. So, in socialization, the family plays an important role. Another impact of industrialization is on religion. It has been said that religion prospers most in societies where ignorance is rampant. On the contrary, as the area of science and technology spread, the hold of religion weakens. Generally, science and religion are considered to be mutually opposed. In the absence of scientific explanation, small and insignificant things and events become pillars of religious faith and dogma. In pre scientific days, the phenomena of rain, storms, etc., was linked with the religious phenomena, and it was imagined that there are god of rain, thunder, etc. But industrialization is intimately related to science and technology, and with the growth of industrialization, there is a spread of science and technology. The widespread use of science and technology creates a scientific outlook. In Indian society, religion and moral are intimately linked. The moral principles are grounded in religious faith and beliefs. So the morality is based upon religion. This is the reason why with the decline in religion there is change in moral principles as well. So industrialization has influenced the religious and moral thinking of the people, like decline of superstitious under the grab of religion, orthodoxy and superstitious flourish. Superstitions are due to ignorance. For material and industrial progress, it is very essential that people should be free from the clutches of superstitions. They must have rational and scientific outlook. The process of industrialization helps the spread and dissemination of science and practical knowledge. As a result of industrialization, people learn the truth of physical reality. They begin to appreciate and the value the practical results and are prepared to give up irrational beliefs. It also develops a religious tolerance. Orthodox religious peoples are of narrow and parochial outlook. On account of their parochial outlook, they regard their own religion as a supreme and infallible. Their attitude towards other religion is that of contempt. As a consequences of industrialization, the person of different faith come together and get an opportunity of knowing and understanding the truth about each other. This result is dispelling of wrong notions about other faiths and an appreciation of basic unit of all faith. Industrialization also developed secular states. Previously, the states used to be theocratic. Each state subscribes to some or other faiths. The citizens professing faiths different from that of the state did not enjoying full rights and privileges. They were treated as a second-rate citizens. But as a result of industrialization, the concept of theocratic state has become obsolete. Due to industrialization, every state now has a sizable number of minorities whose claims cannot be ignored. These states today subscribes to the ideologies of religion but accord equal status to all religions. This is called as a secularism. Another impact of industrialization is on moral, like rational outlook. The Indian society considered the moral principle as universal truth beyond the sphere of doubt and reason. But as a result of industrialization, the outlook of common man has changed. Now people demand rational justification as to why a particular action is considered right or wrong. In industrial societies, it is believed that the moral principles are man made and that morality is for the sake of human life and society and not vice versa. So, the tendency to examine and evaluate every moral principle before acquiescing to it is gaining ground in modern society. It also very helpful in the development of materialistic outlook. It sometimes shows a negative impact in societies. On account of industrialization, the importance and values of physical progress and development has enhanced. An average citizen of today does not appear to be satisfied and contented. The maximum material acquisitions seem to have become the aim of modern life. It is for this reason that a common man of today is averse to religion and spirituality. There is a strong competition for acquiring as much wealth as possible. Due to industrialization, large metropolitan centers are coming up. In large communities, there is decline in fellow feeling. In such society, therefore, the community feeling or the feeling of mutual belongingness is rather missing. The life become rapid and mechanical, and people have little opportunity to look after the welfare of others. So the life in industrial society nowadays becomes self-centered. As a result of this, there is a growth and development of individualism everywhere. It also increases rate of crime in a society. Researchers have pointed out that the rate of crime is very high in industrial towns. In large metropolitan cities, family life is subject to many pressures. It is very difficult to have normal family life in such towns. On account of disintegration of family life, the control of family over individual is becoming lax. Due to absence of this control, there is encouragement of crime. In most of the industrial town, prostitutions and liquor consumptions are rampant. Besides, theft and dacoity also are commonplace in industrial town. The incidence of violence and murder is also high in industrial town. Due to industrialization, social control is also loosed. In industrial towns, laborers and artisans from places far and wide come in search of jobs. Having found jobs, they settle in these towns. As most of these workers are outsiders, they are not subject to usual social control. So, caste and clan consideration are almost non existent in big metropolis. On account of all these factors, the social control become loose and lax, so the control is exercised by the law and law enforcing agencies like police, courts, etc. Another impact of industrialization is on economy. Industrialization affect the economy also in terms of large scale production, growth of trade, division of labor and specialization, rise in the scale. India with its vast population is near self-sufficient in these commodities. Industrialization also affect the growth of trade. On account of vast production, there is an unparalleled growth in trade and commerce. The development of fast means of communication has contributed a lot towards this, and the foreign trade has also shown tremendous rise. Another economic impact of industrialization is the division of labor and specialization. Gradually, the number of technocrats and highly skilled personnel is growing. As a result of industrialization, there is a certain rise in the living standard. Today, electric gadgets, TV, bikes, gas, etc. are a common household goods. The mechanization of production system has thrown millions of people out of work. Due to industrialization, there is a glut of many commodities. This lead to grave economic crisis. The industrial disputes are inevitable accompaniment of industrialization. Where Wherever there is a industry, there are thousands of workers. It is natural tendency of workers to expect more and more for their work. On the other hand, the industrialists want more production for less wages. Under these circumstances, there are bound to be clashes of interest resulting in industrial disputes. As a result of industrialization, there is a tremendous concentration of wealth in a few hands. Due to industrialization, one man can control a business of crores of rupees and go on amassing wealth unabated. So, like other countries, industrialization in India has also given tremendous fillip to the growth of capitalism. Industrialization has promoted individualism. As a result of its capitalism grew and with it spread the idea of individualism and laissez-faire. On the other hand, the ideology of socialism also spread as a result of industrialization. Like other countries, industrialization in India has given rise to class conflict also. There is a continuous tension among the capitalist and the labor, and the poor and the rich. So, the decline of cottage industry as a result of industrialization, the goods of daily use are produced on mass scale. The quality of machine made goods is standard and they are cheap. This has resulted in large inflow of goods into villages, which has ruined the cottage industries of the villages. Another impact of industrialization are on entertainment. The means of relaxation and entertainment keep changing with time. There is a big difference between the mean of entertainment in pre-industrial and post-industrial society. But in India, there has been significant changes in the means of entertainment as a result of industrialization. Traditionally, all entertainment was focused upon family. Generally, all families used to be a joint and therefore were very large. On account of large families, it was possible to find all kind of entertainment within the family itself. The adult male members used to entertain themselves by playing cards, chess, and female used to gossip, swings, or sings. As there were very many children in every family, the entertainment of children was easy. But in the modern industrial society, the situation is just the opposite. The size of family has shrunken. The family today consists of husband and wife and their two or three children. Besides, in many families, both husband and wife are employed. Under these circumstances, there is no scope of entertainment. So, which it is always no within the family. So today almost everyone goes out for entertainment to places like theaters, cinema halls, parks, etc., etc. Another impact of industrialization is on industrial labor. Along with industrialization of the country, industrial labor has matured and gained a significant place in the economy as is reflected by the following changes in the labor, like status of the worker. The industrial worker is no longer the unskilled worker engaged in an unending struggle to eke out his existence, neglected by the society except for his labor and with very limited aspirations. He has now a personality of his own. He shares the benefit which a welfare state with a vast population in inadequate resources can offer. He enjoy a measure of social security. He is secure in his employment once he enter it and has been given statutory protection against retrenchment and layoff. The migratory character of labor has been a serious malady from which the Indian industry has suffered for long. In the past, a great majority of factory workers were at heart villagers because they were born and brought up in villages. They had village tradition, they retained contact with their villages and hoped to return them. Over the last 30 years or 40 years, there has been a trend towards the stabilization of industrial labor. A worker today is far more urban in taste and outlook than his predecessors. So, idyllic notion of a village nexus has receded. The background owing to the positive measure and undertaken in the interest of the industrial labor. As facilities came to be provided and measures for social security begin to be undertaken. Workers were increasingly attracted by such measures and lack of commitment to industry become a less serious problem. There are some also factors which is responsible for this change, like positive steps undertaken by employers as an incentive payment or provision of welfare societies. Industrial workers now enjoy much better working conditions in terms of space, light, drinking water, washing facilities, circulation of air, canteen, transportation, medical facilities, etc. Because of this voluntary efforts of enlightened industrialists and the enactment of various labor laws for the regulation of working condition and improving the quality of working life of the workers. The government of India has enacted several labor laws which provided for minimum welfare and social security measures for the benefit of workers and their families engaged in factories, mines, plantation, construction, banking, transportation, insurance, etc. It is a pity that such social security and welfare facilities are not available to the agricultural labor and those engaged in unorganized small and cottage industry. The composition of workforce had shown a change over the recent year also. Like firstly, the ratio of white collar jobs like clerical, supervisory or managerial has increased in industry. Women workers take to skilled and semi-skilled work in modern industry. Young girls, often educated from middle class families who not so long ago would have shied away at the thought of working in industries are now taking to the industrial environment in increasing numbers. And the use of child labor in industry has declined significantly because of the laws enacted by the government and pressures by the social groups and the media. The level of education and self-consciousness has been increasing among the workers at various levels. They are keen about improvement in the standard of their life. They want various avenues for self fulfillment through careers advancement and also control over industries through active participation in managerial decision making. Industrial labor is better organized today primarily to protect and promote the economic and social interest of the workers. The organization takes the form of trade union. Workers turn to the unions for fulfillment of their aspirations. Trade unions have attained the status of bargaining agent of the workers to secure maximum economic and social benefits from the management. Thank you, class.